Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and today we are in the attic and I'm filming in the daytime, but I have something that needs to be said, so I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna say it. For the past, since I moved really, many days out of the week I have been letting a barista control my mood for the day and set the tone for the day. What I mean to say is there is an older woman who works at a cafe near me, and she is quite, she's not stern, but she doesn't give her smiles away for free, I will say that. And she has a very professional, quite serene aura about her, and she's quite striking. She's a very striking person. And when I've gone in there, I've noticed that there are times when she recognizes me and she knows my order. It is a cappuccino with no sugar, and she knows this. And she will give me a smile that makes me feel very good. And then there are days, sometimes when it's busy, or who knows why, maybe the clouds are extra thick, but she's less inclined to assume my order. Some days she's not there at all, and other days she just has a wall up again, and it's fascinating to me. And I have found that this dynamic, this unknown reaction, has got me a bit hooked on going every day. My routine has been to get the coffee and then I will go for a walk, and it's just a little gamble. Every day it's like doing a lotto, doing a scratcher every day. I go, will she be happy to see me? Will she remember who I am? Will she be distant? Will she be cold? Will she be there at all? I used to have this dream of going and living in a little cabin and dipping out on society and being so self-sufficient. There is nobody that could control my mood. Nothing matters in the outside world, only me. And I've thought about that, and I have encountered it in a new form, which is sublime misanthropy. How I understand sublime misanthropy is having a love for humanity, but humanity has disappointed you. It's disappointed you over and over, and I believe Schopenhauer wrote about this trait in men who are over 40, where they develop this kind of tendency to withdraw or have withdrawing emotions from society as a whole. And so that type of misanthropy comes from loving humanity or being unable to love humanity despite wanting to. And so there's a turn to the sublime, the experience of going out in nature and being in nature and encountering something awful and huge and powerful, and having that kind of feel secure as a rational animal, encountering this awesome thing away from humanity. And I think that instinct is common in culture, not just in the realm of men over 40, but this sense of self-sufficiency that comes from not wanting to be caught in this cycle of disappointment by people, not wanting to be on the end of a yo-yo in society anymore, and wanting to be in control of your life and in control of things. That used to be me for a long time, so I understand it, and I really relate to those sentiments. But lately, something has changed, and I have found myself doing something different, which is like, instead of sublime misanthropy, this barista and my attachment, my gambling, is like sublime humanists. Yeah, maybe like a sublime humanist instead of a misanthrope. I have found, maybe because I haven't reached my 40 and up situation yet, where I've become tired of the world, I have found a new energy, a bit of a new interest in willing to be disappointed and wanting to plug in and hook into the other. And I think what's been going on, because I've been thinking to myself, why am I so fixated on this barista? And why do I need to go get coffee from this place? And it's precisely because I have enjoyed giving away my control to a stranger and asking for a cappuccino every day, and having that be a kind of released encounter with the other, with humanity. And I find that it's thrilling, and I'm not scared of it, and it's quite funny. It's quite fun, and I don't know if that's been written about. The opposite of wanting to go to a cabin in the woods, and instead wanting to build like a matrix of meaning and connection in the world around me. And I've been doing that with this barista. She's like my divination. She's my divination. I think this phase of my life in which I'm going to this cafe represents, I hope, a release from the neurosis of shelter and needing to build shelter. The cabin in the woods is essentially a bunker that protects the self from disappointment. Some people do this with family. Some people do this with the nuclear family. So I believe it's also Schopenhauer who's writing about a concept from Kant about the sublime misanthropist, but essentially saying that there's a type of man who has a dream of a nuclear family and a cabin in nature, which he can then master. And so this dynamic kind of creates a psychology of bunkerism, like needing to be in a bunker. And I think sometimes, instead of the nuclear family in the cabin in nature, this is quite common in people. And the bunker looks like building a insulated room full of toys or books or what have you, and needing to cut the self away from any opportunity to be disappointed and like really challenged by the external world. I have found over my life various periods of release from that, needing the bunker, like the womb, right? And I think I'm now at some stage in which it's not just going out and allowing the self to be disappointed. I'm actively becoming a little bit thrilled by the disappointment, because I'm trying to build a self, a stability that doesn't completely rely on the disappointment. It's like I'm building a tower out of blocks that I almost expect somebody's going to kick down. And I've chosen the way that I would like it to be kicked down, which is by this barista. This is really the beginning of my thoughts on this issue. But it just struck me in a way today where I think I could finally put a vocabulary around this behavior, which I've been engaging in unconsciously. But I caught myself and I was like, why is this my favorite coffee shop? Why? Turns out it's not only because the coffee is good, It's because it represents a real kind of safe challenge to my psychology, which used to lean toward safety and used to be a bit of more into that sublime misanthropy, like humanity's letting me down. I crave the grandiosity of nature and my stability against like the awesome. I think I've moved the awesome from nature and been able to kind of place it back in humanity in a way that I think is good for me. And so when I think about the barista, I think I'm fine with that, and I'm going to keep going and getting the coffee and enjoying the push and pull of the mood of I think anyone behind the counter, and enjoying those kinds of small interactions, or that feeling of when your favorite coffee shop is closed and you don't have access anymore, and how that pushes you in different directions. I'm enjoying being pushed, again, left or right, and this barista will fling me left or right depending on the mood. To be clear, there is a type of misanthropist, a person who dislikes humanity, not because they want to love humanity but cannot, just because they cannot. So it's like, oh, I want to love, but I've been disappointed, so I want to get away from people. And then there's people who are like, I don't like people, I like nature instead, or that type of thing. So I think there's also multiple ways to be an optimist, just like there's multiple ways to be a misanthropist. One of the ways to be an optimist is to have a narrative of this like always interpreting other people's behavior as positive. You're always seeing the positive, you're always seeing the positive. And then I think I'm this other type of optimist, which is like, it's more gray. It's more like I find complexity delightful. I don't need to reinterpret the complexity as positive and optimistic. I find the prism of human emotion quite exciting and stimulating. So I feel optimistic and good about my own fluctuation in mood based off of the barista's response to me. And I kind of am delighted by the matrix of complexity, as opposed to needing to flatten it down into a positive, like sticky note that I can use as an affirmation. So there's multiple types of optimism. Of course there's a million ways to be a person in the world. And I like paying attention to different ways of being a person. But okay, those are my final thoughts. This was just a quick video I really wanted to make. Share some of my basic thinking about this. I'm definitely going to be thinking more about it. But I hope you are doing well. And I hope that no matter day or night, that you are able to get some peace and quiet. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.